And the crowd cheers. Oh, good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's me, Mitch. Happy Friday morning, TGIF for most of us, and holiday weekend to boot. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch, and as usual, my friends, drink it if you got it. And drink us more of it while we wait for people to wake up and pile in. And let me try my right hand here and see if I can gracefully fade this music out. Not bad, not bad. It's slow, well, relatively to me it is, slow coming back, the use of my right hand. It seems like, and that my balance is coming back, but those improvements are probably the most painfully slow. I can't imagine people that take a year to get over this stuff, but little by little, brain's got to reconnect to all of those muscles. Muscles and nerves and sensors and feeling and nerves that control whether your foot is numb or not. It's so complicated, so complicated. But what I did yesterday, well, I got a video coming out this afternoone, and let me, if you'll bear with me, just 1 second. Maybe I'd like to give you just a 10-second preview of it, and hopefully it will kind of give you a little desire to. Sorry, I'm trying to be smooth about all this. Give you a little impetus to watch it. It's something I did yesterday, and another milestone in my improvement. So I'll play a few seconds of this. Everybody, it's me, Mitch. I don't know if I should be doing this or not, but yes, I am at the piano. I haven't touched this thing. At any rate, that's there we go. Sorry, a little slow on the buttons as well, but that was me. That's me. And for the first time in a long time yesterday, I tried to play the piano. And I'm surprised. I got a long way to go, but I thought you'd enjoy sharing that little adventure with me. Anyway, that's going to come out around 2 o'clock, like before 2 o'clock. So I hope you watch that, and I hope you enjoy it. If you have questions for me, put QQQ in the chat as usual, and I usually manage to get to them. Might miss some. Depends how busy we are this morning. So far, 64 people. Not a record crowd by any means. I watched, just for fun yesterday, my first live stream back. That was about almost 2 months ago, but not quite. Was in early April. First live stream I did, it had been 30 days since my stroke, and I was back home doing a live stream. And I had forgotten that, wow, that was pretty quick. And it was a great live stream. Anybody who wants to rewatch it can. It was also the most heavily attended live stream I've ever had in my life, with maxed out around 425 viewers, maybe 430. And I said to myself, before my stroke, I get 100, 125 people at my live stream. Now I got 400 and something. Wow, that stroke was the best thing for the publicity of my channel. And the videos about my stroke got a lot of views. People were interested. Fleeting fame, I'm afraid. They came and they went. I still have effectively more regular viewers now than I had before the stroke, but not the numbers. It came to me evidently about curiosity, who I've managed to offend in one way or another, piss off, because I don't play the game. I say what's on my mind, and they get tired or just bored, like I get bored with most other carnivore YouTubers, no matter how good they are. And that's normal, and I don't take it personally. But I looked at the names of the people that were in the chat there, and I saw all of you guys, the old, original, hardcore Misfit crowd, that after all of that hoorah and all of that extra attention, all of those names which I hadn't heard, all the buy me a coffee, the kindness of those people and the caring of those people, they have moved on, because after all, we only have so much room every day for what we consider to be our daily routine. And I wanted to just take this minute. And this is perfectly understandable, repeatable, the norm in call it the fame curve for the average YouTube star, small YouTube star, tiny, insignificant little YouTube star like me. And I was hoping it wouldn't happen, but it did. But I wanted to take this moment, all of you that are here, all the names that I see scrolling by in the chat, you guys are the best. And I want to thank you for your loyalty. I imagine you get some entertainment out of this, maybe a little information. You get a little drama. You get to follow my adventures. And I'm glad that there's a Misfits. I'm glad that there's a hardcore, basic group of you guys. Wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for that. I think I made some show notes for this morning. Let me take a look. Okay. Yes, I did. I won't get into this. I talked about it a little last night on the private community. I got pissed off about a comment. I shouldn't allow myself to get pissed off, but I get people that are so presumptuous. They feel that's necessary to find fault with me, pick out everything according to them, every mistake I've made, and throw it in my face, and come off as you're not smart. I'm smarter than you. And I have this one guy that every comment he's ever put in my chat, and I haven't hit him yet, but he's one of those kind of. And he commented to me and told me that I need to show everybody publicly my YouTube studio backend revenue and show you exactly how much I make, because, and he intimidated that I'm lying like hell and I'm making a fortune and begging for donations. I've done that already. Maybe you weren't here when I did it. Obviously, he wasn't here when I did it. I got nothing to hide. I make probably 1,000, maybe 1,400 on a busy month from YouTube, from Google, from the ad revenue. That's it. Would you guys work what's the equivalent of almost a full-time job for $1,000 a month? It ain't the money, my friends. Throw in a little extra from the Buy Me a Coffee. When you use my Amazon links, that helps a little bit. But I guarantee you, if I ever get to $2,000 a month, total income from this little adventure, it is a banner month. Those of you that don't think I should be able to make a living or supplement my Social Security working as hard as I do to cover everything, you shouldn't watch. Shouldn't watch. I hate to ask for money. I hate to do that, but everybody on YouTube is supported by something or other, mostly advertising, and I try not to be too obnoxious about it. So his name is Robert. I don't like to show people's handles. Robert, read my mind. Go yourself. Stop finding fault with everything I do. Just go away. Next comment from you like that, I'm sorry. I try not to do this. I'm going to hide people from that channel. Those comments like that for a few minutes make me say, to hell with this. I'm tired of people finding fault with me. I don't care if they're idiots or morons. Adios. It's not worth my time or effort. That's sad. Because I do this because I enjoy it and I'm passionate about the subject. And if you guys don't know that right now, I try to let you know me. I'm not a star. I'm not a celebrity. I don't script anything. What you see is what you get. Hate to have to mention that stuff, but boy, I'll tell you what. Some people. I saw it on the news yesterday that evidently RFK, they called it the Trump administration, banned the sale of all of these off-brand, basically generic semaglutides or Ozempic. They banned the sale of them because even though semaglutide is FDA approved, none of these other brands are FDA approved. God knows what's in them. They're being sold cheap on the internet. God knows how many people are buying these much cheaper drugs and pawning them off as the real deal. Especially huge organizations like Weight Watchers that are now nothing more than drug prescribers. Drug prescribers. Used to be doctors wrote prescriptions. Then they let physicians' assistants and even nurse practitioners write prescriptions. Now, they have a new category they seem to refer to as a prescriber. And if you see in the ads on television, instead of saying, ask your doctor about so-and-so, ask your doctor if so-and-so is right for you. If you have any of these symptoms, tell your doctor immediately, as if anybody can get a hold of their doctor immediately. Lately, they're changing the wording from doctor to prescriber. Ask your prescriber. So, more and more people evidently are getting the right to legally prescribe drugs. Wonder who's behind that. That is scary. Scary. Bad enough these doctors don't know what they're doing. Can you imagine the corner drug dealer writing prescriptions? What's going to happen because the government outlawed the sale? Can you spell black market? Yes, you can. Black market. They're not going to go away. Believe me. They're going to go underground. Excuse me a second. Drank coffee, tried to breathe it instead of drink it. There we go. There we go. Well, up to 100 people, 103 people. Good. People are waking up on this Friday. I hope you all have a great holiday weekend, Memorial Day. Don't forget what it's about. We get so busy celebrating these things, we forget that memorial means someone died. Many people have died serving our country so that we can have the freedoms that we so readily abuse and bastardize today. I'm getting crazy texts. Oh, that was a good one. That was from my plumber who got kidney problems and disappeared for the whole time I've had my stroke. He's on his way back to the emergency room. I'd like him to come finish my job, but I can't blame him if he got sick. And he was scheduled to finish on the weekend that I had my stroke. So I have to take a certain amount of blame for that. I don't know if you guys have the same problem I do, but to try to hire anybody to do anything, actually finish the job without charging you 10 times more than they should. You got the name of a guy, and that guy lives in Florida. Please send him my way, will you? Send him my way, will you? I keep getting text. I gotta reply to this one. So, give me a few seconds to read it. Let me just tell them this. I'm doing a live stream right now, Dan, period. Yeah. God, voice typing. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. That's the problem. I tried drastically to get hold of these people all day. Leave messages. Text them. It takes weeks and weeks and weeks for them finally to reply to me. And when they do, it's at the worst possible time. The few minutes every day where I'm tied up doing something, and he said he's sorry. Let me just say no worries. Okay. Anyway, he's going to keep texting me back and forth because I'd rather he just call me and talk to me rather than write a novella in the text. But I don't know what it is about people and texting. Stick around. We'll get to it. Well, it's almost time to say goodbye. I haven't even said hello yet. So let me start. Let me start with those of you that came in yesterday, and I'm going to fly through this. We had Feral Grandma Tuka. How you doing? Sandy Blythe checked in last night. Rick checked in and said he might not be with us today. I'll know in a minute if that was true or not. Jemet, hiya, Jemet. How are you? Lady June says good morning from the United Kingdom. Mandy Bedows, all the usual suspects are here. Wayne Herman, good morning from Lake Gaston. And Nikki W., how are you? And yes, Rick is with us, or was at first, at about 7:25. Morning, Rick. How you doing? We have Mike Silly from Tampa Bay with us, and me. I'm here. We have Jemet said he liked my video yesterday. Thank you, Jemet, about the ice cream. That's a whole nother story. I don't know if I talk much about that today. Mike Silly Sr. from right here in Melbourne is here. Tammy Bitarch chimed in, said good morning. 920 Charles Faircloth, Claudia Burkick, Richard Williams from Copper Hill, Tennessee. We had Meta Twos. Good morning to you. Tammy Bitarch, cold and rainy up in New York. Peter chimed in. Hiya, Peter. Scotter. Morning, Mitches. Good morning to you, Scotter. Lori's here. How you doing? It's almost time. How are we doing on that? 9:28. Feral Grandma said there are only 7 likes. Yep. I don't know how much it helps, but if you like this, hit the like button. Lori, I'm one of them. Well, talking to Wendy. Marla, Kelly is here. Hi, I'm Marla. Melissa B at 9:29. And God, once again, Gary got it down pat. No slow. Has taken the prize. So, congratulations. You did it. Followed immediately afterwards by Rick. Two technical people vying for the bell. Jemmett, good morning. Carnivore Police is here. How you doing, officer? I didn't do it. Kitchen Witch, Tanya, hiya, sweetie. Got my coffee. I think I got mine too. I want to take an informal poll. Sometimes I have second thoughts about this 9:30 time frame. I used to do it at 8:30. I see Kilts is getting a decent amount of play at 6, which is 3 o'clock on the West Coast. I always have the replay, but as far as the live goes on weekdays, sometimes I think the before work crowd is where it's at. I don't like to keep making changes, but I'd like to honestly hear your opinion, if you would, and I'll see them as I go. Put a time from, say, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the chat. Start at 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10. Pick one of those. And I want to see what the consensus is. And if there would be maybe an earlier start time, that really would be better for me because I'm up. I could start at 6 o'clock every morning. I'm ready. 7 o'clock easily. I don't want to make it impossible for too many people west of here who would have to be up in the middle of the night. But Kelsey changed from 5 to 6. And, of course, he's a much bigger deal than me, but we generally get comparable viewers. Most are the same people. I wonder if would be more convenient. Doesn't matter to me. I wonder if it matters to you. So give me a little help. Sandy Bly says, awake at 5, watch Kilts at 6. Yeah. 9 a.m. Ebony Talks would work for her. Mita2 says 9 a.m. for me. Smokey Bear Lover, 8:30. Gracefully likes 9:30. Elizabeth in Las Vegas likes 9:30. Keep putting them in there. 8:30 is better, according to Aaron. 9:30 is a great time, according to Claudia. Michael Pringle's up at 4. Papa Carnivore says anytime. Thank you, Peter. At any rate, where was I saying hello to people? I was saying hi to Kitchen, which you got a lot of play up there. Pearl Grandma is back. Rick is back. Michael Prigler. Ebony Talks. I know if I catch this live, I'm late for work. Okay, that was before I posed the question. Sandy Blythe is here. Good morning, Sandy. All at 9:30. Still at 9:30. Smokey Bear Lover. Sue, how are you? Lori at 9:30. And the first one at 9:31 is Belmont Leone. Hello, Belmont. Few more of these. Nate Dog, good morning, Mitch and folks. Melissa B. Drinking my coffee. Barbara S. is here. Graceful Lily is here. Papa Carnivore. Can't type this morning. Question. Good deal. Okay, here's Peter's got a question. What are your thoughts on the newest fad, the sugar diet? They claim that. I don't know. You know what my thoughts are, Peter. You know exactly what my thoughts are. It's not getting that much play, but what play it is getting is so outrageous. It's so outrageous that people are talking about it. I think it's absurd to eat no meat, no fat, and all sugar. Yeah, the body will run on it, but the damage it does is incredible. It's impossible to have any long-term studies. You have to. That's why we have no long-term studies on any diets, really. The closest we can come to a long-term study on any kind of diet is to find a place or a country or a village or a group of people somewhere in the world that are still eating their ancestral diet with no exceptions and no infiltration from modern Western diets. In other words, they live in the rainforest of Brazil, are eating exactly the same thing that their ancestors ate thousands of times, maybe even pre-agriculture, maybe back 50,000 years, maybe the cavemen. And McDonald's hasn't found their neighborhood yet. That's harder and harder to find in this world. Ansel Keys tried that with the 7-country study way back in the 50s and 60s. Things weren't nearly as convoluted or polluted by modern Western diet as they are today. And when you looked at those countries back then, you could get a better idea of diet versus longevity versus disease, cause of death, all-cause mortality, and the like. The problem with Ansel Keys was he had the perfect study at the best time 70, 80 years ago, before we got so out of hand, became so dependent on pretty much sugar for everything. But it's what he did with the data was so corrupt. He really was a 22-country study. You all know this. If you don't, watch the videos on it. Based on the data, there was no pattern. There was no pattern showing that the more fat, saturated fat, they ate in a particular country, the more coronary heart disease they had, and the quicker they died. There was nothing. And it took a lot of finagling for him to find 7 countries of the 22 whose data lined up on a chart that was what he was trying to prove, but he left all the other countries out. And the most glaring example of one of the countries that he left out was France. And it became known as the French paradox. Okay, Ansel, if the countries with the highest fat intake have the highest rates of coronary heart disease, strokes, and all-cause mortality, how do you explain the French? They had one of the highest rates of fat consumption because everything that the French eat is fat. They can't even make baked goods without loading with butter. They have cream sauces. They meat-heavy diet. Everything that they eat, yet they had 1/7 the rate of disease that these countries he picked for the 7-country study had. How do you explain one of the highest animal fat intakes and one of the lowest rates of disease? They lived a healthy, long life back then until McDonald's discovered Paris, and the rest is history. They call that the French paradox, and science, as it would, went out to figure out why the French didn't fit in the pattern. Well, they didn't realize it wasn't only the French. There were many other countries that had very high fat diets, and they didn't fit in either. And they studied and they studied. And they did research. And they said, this was the basis of their research. They said, we know it's a given. Everybody knows that saturated fat clogs your arteries. Well, if you start your study with a false premise, where the hell can you go from there? That's never been proven. In fact, it's the opposite has been proven. But if you're trying to prove something that fits in with your agenda, go home. Don't bother. It's not worth anything. So they started all this stuff and accepted the fact that everybody knows that dietary fat, saturated fat, causes heart disease. So then after they all agreed that, well, we know that. So, I mean, we can't debate that. That's a given. What are the French doing that nobody else is doing? And some rocket scientists finally declared it must be the red wine. They're drinking red wine. That's what the French do. French drink red wine, and they don't get sick from all this fat. So it must be the red wine that counteracts the bad effects. And we all know that red wine has phytonutrients in it, polyphenols in it, all these good things that we know are good for your health. So we'll recommend that everybody starts drinking wine, and they did. They started publishing these studies back in the 50s and 60s. It was on the news. Wine discovered to be the cause of the miraculous, mysterious cause of the health of the French people, in spite of. So the conclusion was, if you're eating a diet high in meat and saturated fat, and you don't want to get heart disease, by God, go out and buy yourself a bottle of good red. And that message was brought to you, compliments of the wine, vineyards, and alcohol industry. Thank you very much for all you've done in the name of good health. Thank you, wine growers. And that was the beginning of the explosion of the wine industry. And now, today, this wine, which is alcohol and sugar, which is poison, which I think has no redeeming qualities in any healthy human being, is big wine. It's like big food. It's big alcohol. You can tell because there are wine superstores now. There's wine sold in convenience stores. You never see a TV show, a sitcom, where the woman of the house doesn't constantly have that glass of wine in her hand anytime after 5 o'clock. The first thing they do when they walk through the door. You know it, you've seen it. Pour that glass of wine. And that's how that happened. And it was stupid, and it's wrong. And like so much of the other stuff, motivated by money, it has destroyed our health. Anyway, I've told that story before, but I've learned that you have to keep telling these things because there's always people that haven't heard and some people have forgotten. So if you wonder why the wine industry is so big, that's the reason. The French paradox. A glass of wine every day won't hurt you unless you're an alcoholic, and then you'll overdo it. I know that. My second wife, 1 to 2 bottles of wine every day, and claimed, I'm not an alcoholic. I can stop anytime. Well, after 20 years, she didn't stop, and I couldn't take it anymore. Here we go. Sandy says to Peter's question about what do I think of the sugar diet, she says, you already know Mitch's response to that question, a stupid question like that. I don't think Peter's stupid. I think Peter was just trying to bring the subject into into the discourse today. I like this kind of question. Aaron says, love you, Mitch. You are a star. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aaron. And again, thank you to the hardcore that keep putting up with my antics and continue to encourage me to keep doing these live streams. I know it may sound like begging, but there's my buy me a coffee link. No pressure, but if you want to help support this effort, until I'll tell you the day that my viewership and I make enough money, and I need to make I just need to make about a couple. I'm honest about it. I need to make about $2,000 a month. I don't have a retirement. A $2,000 a month retirement is pathetic anyway, but I need to make a couple grand a month to make ends meet. You all may think I'm rich because I do live in a mobile home, but I got nice stuff because I was rich. And that's all I ended up with. No money, but a lot of stuff. I have enough money to have a nice car and everything. I'm not desperate, but I still need to make money, because if I don't make money within 6 months, I'll be desperate. I'll make a promise to you. If my ad revenue and my Amazon commissions total $2,000 a month, you'll never hear about this buy me a coffee thing again. I don't need it, but I need all of it to add up to something that meaningful, especially recovering from this stroke. It's been expensive. So I'll make you a promise right now. I hate to do that. I hate to ask for it. It's a necessity. And if I don't get it here, I got to spend this time doing something else where I can get it. Most of you know what it's like living these days. Prices of everything goes up and up and up constantly. Well, I'm all the way up to 9:40, about 30 minutes behind. Tammy says, Peter, don't get Mitch started. That's funny. That's funny. I got to start speeding up. Well, my phone's chiming. Maybe I just have to remind some people. Once in a while, you throw me throw me a coffee or so. Some people throw me 5 coffees. That's very generous, very nice. Then I watch Ken Berry's channel. And I mean, the guy is brilliant. The guy deserves it. But I watch people throw him $50, $100 super chats all night long. And maybe he gets to their question. So if you're broke, by God, I don't want your money. I don't want you to sacrifice to send me money. I don't want anybody to do that. But if you're doing well, you can afford $5 without going into the rent money. That's nice. I appreciate it. But by God, please don't take it to mean if you are struggling. I wish I could give you money. So, honestly, do not. Peter bought me a coffee. Very nice of you, Peter. Thank you so much. Very nice of you. Peter's got money. He's a fairly rich furniture salesman. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Very nice of you. Prime the pump a little bit. Lori says, question, you are correct, Mitch. It is very sad about some people's comments. Yeah, I normally don't talk too much about it. I used to have a little segment I did on when I first started this morning stuff, was comments from morons, but I don't want to come off bitter, and they really don't bother me that much. I marvel at the sheer nerve of some people and what they demand from people who owe them nothing. Owe them nothing. Owe them no explanations. Owe them nothing. Yet they demand it and accuse you of being a dastardly person because you're not answering their questions about your personal life. Why don't you ask Ken Berry to show you his W-2s and taxes from last year? How about Sean Baker? How about Anthony Chafee? Ask him to show you his confidential financial information and accuse him and Ken Berry of making too much money. Number one, they never get that message because they're not as accessible as I am. And if you want to reach those guys, it costs you. There's no way to get them to them for free. I've emailed them countless times and never got a reply. And if I got a reply, it was from an assistant, and it died there. Years ago, I tried to say to Sean Baker, to Anthony Chafee, and even my friend Ken Berry, why don't you interview me? I got something to say. Never heard back. Never heard back. I tried 3 or 4 different email addresses. Most of them got me automated replies. This is not an email. To get a message to Ken Berry, email his assistant or his assistant's assistant. Never heard back. Not once, ever, never. I've had some shout-outs from those people. Never. And my viewers say, you ought to ask Anthony Chafee this. I can't get Anthony Chafee's attention. You need to ask Sean Baker that. I can't get Sean Baker's attention. I'm a pissant. They don't know who I am. Ken Berry knows who I am, but I don't need him and he doesn't need me. That's as absurd as these drug commercials saying, check with your doctor. Ask your doctor if you need. You can't get your doctor on the phone. Do these people not live in the same world that I live in? I can't even get a plumber to return my phone call, let alone a doctor anymore. Crazy. It's crazy. Oh, there I go. Get excited again. Calm down, Mitch. Calm down. Take your blood pressure. Bermuda guy says, pissant. I haven't heard that in years. Well, I'm old. That's part of my vernacular. That's part of my French language that I speak. You know, pardon my French. Michael Pregler is here. Hiya, Michael. How you doing? Good for you, Grace Lloyd, Tammy. Retired Brick, Andre. Physicians' assistants are still knowledgeable. Yeah, they are if you find a good one. Even nurse practitioners. My doctor at the VA is a nurse practitioner. Sometimes they're more knowledgeable than a doctor. What they are is wannabe doctors, but without the ego and the arrogance. Barry Simon. Wow. Barry Simon, you see it right there in orange. $20 super chat. Thank you so much. It says, you answer every time. Thanks, Mitch. I try. I really try. Really try. Aaron says, awesome, Barry. Thank you so much. Mitch is cool like that, says Tanya. I try. I couldn't do it with the audiences that these other guys have. I'm not finding fault with them. They have thousands of people come into their live stream. How the hell could they? I had that one live stream with 400 plus people. There's no way in hell I could keep up. I could not keep up with the chat if I tried. It's probably a good thing that this is a small yet motivated group of misfits. It's good, except in the arena that doesn't give me enough views to really make the kind of money I need to make. But that, I hate to think about that. I find any excuse I can not to give this up. I love it. And I think I'm doing people some good. I may not know everything. I'm not, so you don't know as much medical shit as Ken Berry. And he deserves everything he gets. But this is different than what he does. And I like being personal without having to charge you guys $50 a month for that level of access to me. Everybody has access to me. For free if necessary. For free. 9:45, Peter put a question in here. You are right, Mitch. The more entries include entities, including eventually AI, will soon be able to prescribe it. Yeah, that's true, Peter. That's true. They're all using that now. You don't think these doctors and PAs and nurse practitioners aren't just typing symptoms into their big computer, and the AI spouts out what the future course should be? You need this test. You need these imaging. Wow, Mark Mayer sent 10 Old Guy Carnivore gift memberships. Thank you so much, Mark. Wow, look who got him. Look who got him. Papa Carnivore received a gift membership. I thought you were a member, Peter. You must have let it lapse. Scotty, Dixie Scott, less junk, more health. Oh, he said good morning. Tristan got a gift. Mandy Bedeau's a gift. Beth, life after carbs. Cold Joe, Mrs. Grandma B, and Melanie. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, 10 new members for a month anyway. Have no excuse. No excuse on the planet for not coming to the private live stream. It will show up in your feed Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Be there or be square. And thank you so much to Mark Mayer for that. Very, very nice of you. And I hope the people who received those gifts really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Gary Enoso said, Louis Latino, retired Rick, missed you too. Okay, Louis is going to be on my next live stream Sunday morning. Louis is going to be one of my first real guests, other than Dr. Nelson and Kelsey. You know that I usually do solo stuff and try to interact with the chat rather than another interview. But Louis, when I first heard his story, is so fascinating. It's so heartwarming that I wanted to have him on. And I shortchanged him. He was supposed to come on my show March the 1st on Saturday morning, and on February 28th, the Friday, right before, I had a stroke. Sorry. Reminds me of my plumber. Got an appointment to come out and finish my plumbing, has kidney failure. It's crazy. It's crazy. But mea culpa, that's what happened. So Louis is coming on Sunday, and we're going to talk to Louis and you about his incredible story. Incredible story. All right, where are we? We're still way, way behind, but that's okay. We'll start to catch up. I'm going to start to go through here. I miss a lot of the chat, maybe some of the things you've been talking about, but I want to try to get more current so I can interact with those of you that are maybe still here. Well, we have retired Rick, and then we have unretired Carnivore. All right. Any questions? Let me see if I can find any questions. I am up to 9:52. Still behind. Still behind. Tammy Petard says, here we go. 8:30 Eastern, better for me. Tammy says 8:30 or 9:30. Wow, look at this. Steve Rogers likes 8:30. Scotter says 8:30 is fine. Lewis likes 9. Sandy says, I'm retired anytime. I started the 9:30 stuff. Gary Noslow says 9:20 to 29 might be better for me. I think you're just kidding. Thank you for the feedback. Between you and me, it would be better for me at 8:30. So let me consider it. I'll ask the question over the next few live streams. And if the consensus is 8:30 is fine, because I did pretty good at 8:30. We'll change it back to then. That'll get it out of the way a little earlier for me, and I'll be able to get on with the things I need to do during the day. Give me an extra hour. Questions? I'm looking for questions. Did I talk about everything in my show notes? Oh, we got some coffees. Wow. Let's see. We have Captain America bought me 3 copies. Thank you. Coffees. Thank you, Steve. Thanks for sharing your knowledge, he says. Tanya, 1 coffee today to show some love, Kitchen Witch. Thank you, Coffee, very much. And Scotter says, happy morning, Mitch. Bought me a coffee. No Slow, Graceful Lily made me do this. Bought me a coffee. That's Gary. Thank you. Thank you so much. Marla Kelly bought me a coffee. You guys are great. Thank you so much. And Peter. And I'll mention it, yesterday afternoon, I got 5 coffees from Colin Gorkowski. Thank you, Colin. I have answered or responded and thanked him already, but I will thank him publicly. And just one ding again. Wow. Holy cow. Wendy Smith bought me a coffee. Thank you, Wendy. Appreciate that. Well, again, proving what my very wise father once said to me. You don't ask, you don't get. Words to live by. Meanitude says, question, I thought the later time was so you could go for your walks, but then things happened. Well, there may have been something to that, but when I walked, it was usually about 6:37 in the morning. 8:30 was good for me. What's more important is what's good for my audience. That's why they have things called prime time. Doesn't matter if it's inconvenient for the people putting on the show. You want to make sure the audience is there. Tanya says, I was rocking out till 2 a.m. last night, a party girl, and woke up just in time today. And Peter calls Tanya the party animal. Yeah, that's cool. That's something, few entries from the most recent chat, but I'm still trying to get to that over here. Retired Rick has a question. Does black coffee slow weight loss, or does decaf be a better decision? I'm confused. LOL. I don't think coffee slows weight loss at all. If anything, it has caffeine in it. You'd think it would increase weight loss. It's kind of like an amphetamine. That's what weight loss pills are. Rev you up, burn more energy. Without increasing your intake, you'd think would help you lose weight. There's really chemically, as opposed to energy in, energy out, which we all know has a lot of flaws to that. Eat less, move more kind of philosophy does not work. That's why weight loss pills generally do more harm than good. But I don't think either way, whether it's decaf or not, I don't think you're going to notice. My opinion, you're going to notice much difference in how fast you lose weight or not. Here's somebody came, Just Susie's Thoughts. I like that name. I gave up coffee about 8 months ago, and now I drink black Scottish breakfast tea. I think some people say that some of these teas have more caffeine than coffee. They all come from plants. I don't think one's any worse than the other. You got to be careful with tea that it's not one of these. It doesn't come from a leafy plant that is very high in oxalates, because coffee is not high in oxalates. Some of the teas have that potential. So I would want to try to find out. Look out for that. Up to 10:07 in this chat. That's about 15 minutes behind. Looking for questions. QQQs. Anybody? Graceful Lily, commanded by Mitch or Coffee, and evidently people responded. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Lily. I need all the cheerleading that I can find. And there is Barry Simon. Super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It takes me a while to get to them. That's why I leave the chat. Show up on the right of the screen here. So that when these things do come, they stand out in bright colors and you can see. And I don't have to wait until later to talk about them or thank the people. CB Carmack is here. Mitch, to get in touch with the doctors, you have your assistant Ellen message them. She's better looking than us. I wish I could say that Ellen's my assistant. Ellen's is off on a life of her own, it seems lately, and I miss her. Kitchen Witch, Tanya's, she's shilling for me too. Thank you, Tanya. You're so sweet. For the cost of a cup of coffee or a few, you get all this. That's a spirit, sweetie. I love it. And there's a thing from Mark Mayer, gifted the 10 old guy memberships. Thanks again, Mark. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Rick says, YouTube banned me from memberships. Oh, no, really? Holy cow. What did you do? Are they duck bigots or something? That I don't get. Your channel is monetized, isn't it? Because you have to be monetized before you can have membership. But they all have very strange criteria. Very strange criteria. Oh, let me see if I can find any more comments. We're getting caught up. 10:17. Rick, you're a lucky guy. Rick's plumber is so healthy. Oh, my God. I should read a text from my plumber. What a sob story. It's a shame. He's the nicest guy. I feel so bad for him. But he's a young guy, too. He's probably hovering around 50. Maybe he's not even that old, and he's got so many serious health problems. Tell him to watch my videos. Peter likes 8:30. Good. Tammy, 8:30. Let's go, she says. Yeah, that's quite. I got that one already. Go for a walk. And getting to the point where he figured out that Tanya is indeed a party animal. I think I'm catching up. 10:24. It is now 10:29. So yes, I am. Catching up. Timing it perfectly. Get to the end of the chat. Ebony talks. What's the best way to get back on track when you fall off carnivore? Well, it is an ice cream, Ebony. I figured that out the hard way. For me, the only way back is to go back to my, call it a priming method, call it stuff in your face method, call it whatever you want. Get rid, and this is so important, and it's so impossible for so many people. Get the shit out of your space. out of your sight. Throw it away, give it away, figure out some way to segregate it so you don't have to look at it. If you have family members, tell them, don't eat that shit in front of me. I will throw you out. Get tough. Unless, of course, they're paying the bills. And then you have to move out. That's why it was so hard for me in the hospital. Everywhere I turned, they were giving out sugar, ice cream, treats, crap, the meals. Most of the tray was all desserts and bread and garbage and marmalade, all this stuff. The more sugar they could cram into them, the better. And when you watch that, I'm sorry, your addiction is triggered. So as important as eating meat is getting the addictive stuff out of your sphere. And that may mean you have to change your life dramatically. Not hang out at the bar every night with your friends. Not go out to eat to all these restaurants so often with your family and friends. And if you're younger, it's tougher. It's draconian for a lot of people. For me, I'm kind of a loner. I live by myself. I'm the master of my domain, and it was that, at least that part of it. So then I just had to keep an eye on what I brought into my domain. And my addiction is always trying to take over there. So when I did get off track, and because of my hospital stay, I kind of fell right back into it, off the wagon, to get back on the wagon. I had, and the ice cream adventure was one of the things that my subconscious had me doing that I should have known was a bad idea, but you're not thinking when your subconscious is controlling you to get the sugar. I finally said, okay, if nothing else, I'm going to cut out anything that resembles sugar from this ice cream adventure and try to make something that is indeed 100% carb free. And I started experimenting with mixtures that had no carbs in them whatsoever. And that allowed my body to realize I wasn't eating carbs, I think. And the cravings diminished. And one day when I was eating one of these things that didn't, yet again, turn out right, was not very good, yet I was eating it, I said, why the hell am I eating this? It's horrible. And that was the last. I said, this ain't working. I'm not craving it like I evidently have got control of my logical and critical thinking mind back. I'm going to take advantage of it. And I threw away everything, all the ingredients that I had left that I could possibly use to make the ice cream. So that in order to do it, if my addiction reared its head again, I would have to start going out and buying things. Well, I'm not going to do that. It's hard for me to go to the store. So I guess I'm pretty well relegated. And after a couple of days of just eating the meat, eating the bacon, eggs, the meatloaf, the salmon, stuff like that, it started tasting better and better, and thoughts of the ice cream and all that turned to the disgust and disinterest that they did for 2.5 years. I knew it was possible because how the hell did I make it for 2.5 years without this stuff when it's dominating my thoughts now? And I think I don't want it now. I'm not thinking, my mind isn't going to, so I think I've cured it again. And I did that by anytime you get a little bit of a craving, always have something prepared that you can just run to and eat until you're satisfied. That bacon in the fridge, hamburger patties, anything, pork rinds, just find something and keep it handy. And that's the best way I've ever found to beat these carnivore, and the only thing that's ever worked for me my entire life. And don't worry about how much you eat. Don't worry about the scale. You should throw the scale away anyway. Looking, Gemma had a question with 4 Qs. How can a doctor truly diagnose anyone via video telehealth, don't they need to really see you in person? They can't even diagnose you in person. What chance do they stand over a TV screen? If a doctor can just ask you questions and diagnose you, a computer can do it better. Seriously, artificial intelligence can do it better than a doctor, at least to be consistent. Depending on if it's a valid model that programmed the artificial intelligence, but that's basically what a human being does. When a doctor diagnoses you, he does so by using intelligence. His intelligence is, number one, his computing power, and number two, his database of stored information to compare you to. Human beings are computers, basically. So whether it's computerized intelligence or organic intelligence, sometimes I think the computers, if programmed properly, can do a better job than humans, and human doctors haven't been programmed properly. They've been programmed by propaganda, special interest, and agendas. Same thing. Which computer do you trust? I don't trust hardly any of them anymore because of the state and the narrative of nutrition and the healthcare system. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? We're trying to discover. And I think the best thing, and the thing that makes the most sense, is understand where all this shit came from, understand the ancient diet, and just have to say, well, it worked for millions of years. Why did it suddenly stop working and become dangerous 70 years ago? Doesn't make sense. Therefore, all the dietary advice that's contrary to eating meat that came out in the last 70 years is bogus. Or my logic is flawed. And each of us has to evaluate our own logic and act accordingly. And I've got 110 Mitchfits here who probably, their logic is probably very similar to my logic. Okay, I have hit the bottom of the chat with Bermuda Guy. I wish you good luck, CB. CB is transporting prisoners. I drove a juvenile to boot camp today who I've known since young. That's sad. Detention center said they fed him Pop-Tarts and cereal for breakfast. And kids on psych meds. I gave him my talk on the way, filling him with hope. CB, it's sad. Is this what they feed him? Pop-Tarts and cereal. Two of the basic food groups. Two of the basic food groups. That's too bad. That's too bad. Well, listen, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me on this Friday morning. Join Thomas, Target Prime Rib, bought me a coffee too. Thank you. I think I thanked Wendy Smith already. Here's some coffee. Careful not to burn yourself. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you so much. Very nice of you. So I think I thanked everybody. Thank you for the memberships, the super chats. It's been a pleasure. Good to see you all. Well, there's some more. Retired Rick bought me a cup of coffee. Thank you, Rick. You make sure I don't miss anybody. Yes, thank you. Have a couple of me, Mitch, and thanks for great advice. Well, I hope it's great advice. It's my opinion anyway. Watch my little video this afternoon. It's, I don't know if you call it heartwarming, but I am pleased with my progress so far. I still have a ways to go, but I'll get there. I'm doing, interestingly enough, I'm using a lot less walker now and a lot more cane. The cane with the feet on it. Um, yeah, the risk of falling is a little more, but I have to take risks in order to improve. So I try to be careful about it. But I'm trying to do more and more of either the cane or walking with the cane in my hand, but lifted off the ground, which is basically walking unaided. I'm surprised how long it actually takes to get your balance back. And when you think about the art of balance, what really goes on from the brain to the muscle, how many muscles have to work in concert with each other with exquisite timing and micro movements and corrections to keep us from falling over, especially as we change and move. And the faster we move, the faster these corrections have to come in. And having come from the drone sphere, knowing in drones how you have to program what they call PID controllers, PID, which control the responses of things to sensor inputs. It's fabulously complicated. And that got wiped out. It died in that part of my brain where the stroke occurred. It died. It was non-existent. Therefore, when you stand up, you just fall down. And it has to be relearned almost like a child has to learn it for the first time. And you learn it with trial and error. That's how those things work. Try this, try that. Nope, still fell over. Okay, got to give a little more on that muscle, a little less on this muscle. And that's what my body is going through as it reconnects. It makes new connections and assigns new areas of my brain to take over the job. So for it to have happened and maybe be gaining my balance back in this short a time is in itself a miracle. And that's what I talked about and showed on my little piano playing video today, because the connections in the brain to play the piano or do anything that requires that level of dexterity is fabulously complicated. We don't think about what it takes to control all those little tiny muscles in exactly the right order and sequence to perform the physical things that we do as human beings. You don't realize how elegant it is until it goes away and you have to try to find it again. So I don't say I'm happy I had a stroke, obviously not. But I can tell you that it has given me a whole new appreciation of the wonders of the machinery that we call our body. So in that respect, intellectually, it's interesting. I find it interesting. And I think the fact that I can take the emotion out of it and look at it from that point of view makes me less depressed or not depressed and hopeful. So if you can do that, if you got a problem, maybe you look at it that way. It's very easy to get depressed, very easy to feel sorry for yourself. That's the toughest part of the fight. That's the toughest part of the battle. Well, I think we've reached that time. It's 11:15. I'm leaning towards 8:30, guys. Changing them all over to 8:30 in the morning. It's not going to happen. Certainly not before Sunday. Sunday will be still at 9:30. But I'll talk more about it, get some more input. I don't think an hour one way or the other makes much difference, but 8:30 would mean that I have 1 hour less of sitting around waiting to go to work, basically. Just start a little earlier. So everybody say goodbye to each other. Claudia Burkick said goodbye. Josephine, see, I miss this so much. Hi, Josephine, good to see you. Terry Sue, I'm on the road, yippee. Laurie loves everybody. That's cool. That's cool. Gemma says, Mitch and the Midfish was fun and inspiring. Aaron, smiley face with sunglasses, being cool. Being cool. Sue, Smoky Bear Lover says, thanks, Mitch. Have a great day. Thomas, Target Prime Rib. Bye, everyone. Bermuda guy, you all have a nice day and take care, Mitch. Melissa B, have a great day, all. Tanya, Kitchen Witch Dance and eat meat. Yes, Tanya's still in party mode. Very soon. Memorial Day weekend. Traffic has begun. Yes, sir. Roxanne friend says 8:30 and goodbye. I think 8:30 might work, might be better off for me. So as the music ends, I will tell you, have a great weekend, a great holiday. Remember the reason for Memorial Day, and throw a thought or a prayer towards a vet or a vet's family, somebody that sacrificed something, so that all of us can have the freedoms that we enjoy right now. Have a great weekend. But for today, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.